Real English Lounge.
The art of everyday English.
Welcome back to Real English Lounge, your real place to learn English through honest conversations.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Claire. And today we're playing Would You Rather, with a question that probably reveals more about your values than you expect.
Would you rather have significantly more time or significantly more money?
And the answer isn't obvious. Your answer says a lot about you, about where you are in your life, what you're missing, and what you actually value when you're forced to choose.
We're going to argue both sides, look at what the research actually says, and give you the English for talking about time and money clearly.
Subscribe on YouTube if this podcast is helping your English.
Comment challenge. Time or money? Which do you pick? And tell us what you'd actually do with more of it. One sentence in English in the comments.
Level check B1 to B2. English for discussing values, making arguments, and talking about what matters most. The vocabulary of a real personal debate.
Word tour today. Scarce, autonomy, leverage, abundance, deplete, and worthwhile. 6 words for the conversation about time and money. I'll go first. Would you rather have more time or more money?
Time, immediately.
Without thinking?
Without thinking? You?
Money, but with slightly more hesitation than I'd expected.
Why the hesitation?
Because I started making the case for money in my head and realized the case depends on what you do with the money. And I wasn't sure my answer to that was as clear as I thought.
Which is already interesting. The hesitation is the honest part. Let me make the case for time.
Go ahead.
Time is the only genuinely finite resource. Money can be earned again, saved, invested, borrowed, multiplied. Time cannot. Every hour that passes is gone in a way that no amount of money reverses.
But money buys time. That's the standard counter-argument.
It buys certain things that save time. A cleaner, a faster commute, a closer home. But it doesn't buy time itself. You cannot purchase an extra Tuesday.
True, but you can purchase the freedom to spend Tuesday however you want.
Only if you have enough money to stop working. And most people who have significantly more money don't stop working. They just work differently.
That's a fair point.
And there's something else. Research on well-being consistently shows that beyond a certain income level, the point where basic needs and security are covered, additional money produces diminishing returns on happiness. The gap between having enough and having more is much smaller than people expect.
But the gap between having no time and having some time is enormous.
Exactly. The marginal value of extra time for most people who already have enough money is much higher than the marginal value of extra money.
Marginal value is a useful phrase here. The additional value you get from one more unit of something.
And for time, the marginal unit feels very precious. An extra evening, an extra weekend morning that isn't eaten by errands.
Let me make the case for money.
Please.
Money is optionality. Having money means having choices that people without it don't have. You can leave a job that's wrong for you. You can take a risk on something. You can handle an unexpected problem without it becoming a crisis.
We covered a version of this in episode 15, the save or spend debate.
Similar territory, and the argument is the same. Security gives you options, and options are a form of freedom that time doesn't automatically provide.
How so?
If you have more time but no money, the time is constrained. You can't travel freely. You can't say yes to opportunities that cost something. You can't take care of the people you love in the ways you might want to.
So money enables certain uses of time.
Exactly. Time without money is just free time. Time with money is autonomy.
That distinction is interesting. Free time and autonomy aren't the same thing.
No, free time is the absence of obligation. Autonomy is the presence of genuine choice, and money is what creates the difference between them.
Here's where I want to push back, though.
Go ahead.
Most people who say they choose money are imagining an amount that would genuinely change their lives. They're imagining financial security, freedom from debt, the ability to stop worrying. That's a reasonable thing to want.
But the question isn't unlimited money. It's significantly more.
Right, and significantly more for most people means a higher salary, a bonus, and inheritance. Not complete financial freedom. It means less financial stress, which is valuable, but not the same as the transformation they're imagining.
Whereas, more time is also not unlimited. It might just be fewer working hours, more evenings, a shorter commute.
But those hours are immediately, visibly yours. You feel them. The Extra money, unless it clears a specific debt or worry, often gets absorbed into lifestyle before you notice it.
The lifestyle absorption effect.
It's very real. Research on this consistently shows that people adapt to income increases faster than they expect to. The worry returns, the busyness returns, the money is there, but its effect fades.
Whereas an extra hour in your evening doesn't adapt away.
It's still there, it's still yours, it still feels like something.
Let me complicate this with a question.
Go ahead.
Does your answer change depending on where you are in your life?
Completely.
At what point in your life would you choose money over time?
In my early 20s, when I was building something, trying to establish myself, worried about security, probably money, not because I didn't value time, but because the anxiety about money was louder than anything else.
And now?
Now the money anxiety is much quieter. So the time question is audible. I can actually hear what I want to do with more of it.
Which is an interesting observation. Both needs are real. They just become louder or quieter depending on whether they're currently being met.
Maslow's hierarchy applied to time and money. Once money is sufficiently handled, time rises to the top.
And people who are very time poor but financially comfortable will often say money without hesitation because they'd use money to buy back time.
So in a strange way, both answers can lead to the same destination. You want the one you're missing most.
The question is really, what's most scarce in your life right now?
And that changes, which is why the question is more interesting at 35 than it is at 25.
I want to mention one more thing before we do the word tour.
Go ahead.
There's a study that looked at how people spend unexpected windfalls, extra money they weren't expecting. Researchers found that people who spent it on time-saving purchases reported significantly higher satisfaction than people who spent it on material things.
Time-saving purchases. Paying someone to clean, taking a taxi instead of a longer commute, ordering food instead of cooking when pressed for time.
All of those translated directly into more life satisfaction than an equivalent amount spent on stuff.
Which suggests that even people who would say money know, on some level, that what they really want is time.
They're just trying to use money to get there.
Which brings us back to time was always the answer. Money is just one route to it.
I want to add one more layer to this before the word tour.
Go ahead.
We've been talking about time and money as if they're personal choices. But for a lot of people, the choice doesn't really exist.
Meaning?
If you're in a situation where money is genuinely scarce, not just tight, but actually scarce, the question isn't time or money. It's money. There's no choosing.
Right. The philosophical conversation about which one you value more is a luxury that only becomes available once money is above a certain threshold.
And that threshold is different for everyone, which is why the question lands so differently depending on who's answering.
Someone struggling financially will almost always say money. Someone comfortable will almost always say time. And both are being completely honest.
It's the same question, but they're answering from completely different starting points.
Which is actually why it's such a good question. It instantly tells you where someone is, not just in terms of values, in terms of circumstance.
And it changes over a lifetime. Most people move from money to time as they get older and more established.
The things that feel urgent in your 20s feel less urgent in your 40s. And the things that felt infinite time start to feel less so.
Which is probably the most useful reason to ask yourself this question honestly at whatever point you're at.
Because the answer today tells you something real about what you're missing and what you might want to do about it.
Time for the word tour. 6 words from today's conversation.
Let's begin with a word for something that is limited and hard to get.
Scarce.
Scarce means not enough of something relative to demand. Limited, short in supply. Time is scarce for most working adults. In economics, scarcity is what gives things value.
You can say truly free time is scarce in a way that money sometimes isn't. Or when something is scarce, the way you use it reveals what you actually value.
Scarcity is like water in a desert. Its value isn't fixed. It depends entirely on how much of it you have access to.
Let's repeat it. Scarce.
Scarce. Our next word is about freedom, the real kind.
Autonomy.
Autonomy is the right or condition of self-governance, doing what you choose rather than what you're required to. In today's debate, autonomy is what both time and money can provide in different ways.
You can say the thing he valued most wasn't the money itself. It was the autonomy it gave him to make different choices. Or time without financial security isn't autonomy. It's just unscheduled anxiety.
Autonomy is like being the author of your own day, not just having space in the schedule, but actually deciding what fills it.
Let's repeat it. Autonomy.
Autonomy.
This next word is about how one thing can multiply another.
Leverage.
Leverage means using something as a tool to achieve a much larger larger effect. Money is often described as leverage. A small amount of it used well can unlock things that are worth far more than the original sum.
You can say she used the extra money as leverage, not spending it, but using it to take a risk she couldn't have afforded otherwise. Or time can also be leverage, if you use it to build something that earns more time later.
Leverage is like a door key. The key is small, the door is large, and neither is useful without the other.
Let's repeat it. Leverage.
Leverage.
Here's a word for having more than enough in a good way.
Abundance.
Abundance is a very large quantity, more than enough of something. An abundance of time is the dream state. So much of it that you're not monitoring it, not rationing it, not feeling guilty about how you use it.
You can say, she didn't want luxury. She wanted an abundance of ordinary time. Time to walk slowly, read without rushing, talk without watching the clock. Or financial abundance beyond a certain point produces surprisingly little additional happiness.
Abundance is like a full glass that doesn't need to be sipped carefully. You can be generous with it because there's plenty.
Let's repeat it. Abundance.
Abundance.
This next word is about energy or resources being used up.
Deplete.
To deplete means to use up or reduce significantly, to exhaust a supply. You can deplete your savings, deplete your energy, deplete your patience. In the context of time, feeling depleted means you have nothing left to give.
You can say long working hours depleted her to the point where even the free time she had didn't feel restorative. Or financial stress depletes cognitive resources. There's research showing that worrying about money literally reduces your capacity for other kinds of thinking.
Depleting something is like running a bath with the plug half out. You can keep adding water, but it drains away faster than it fills.
Let's repeat it. Deplete.
Deplete.
Our last word is about whether something is worth the cost.
Worthwhile.
Worthwhile means worth the time, effort, or cost involved. Something's worthwhile if the return justifies what you put in. In this debate, we're asking which investment is more worthwhile, your time or your money?
You can say, the extra hours at work didn't feel worthwhile once she calculated how little they added to her actual life. Or, the purchase was worthwhile not because of what it gave her, but because of what it freed her from.
Worthwhile is like weighing a coin in your hand before spending it. You're asking, is what I'm getting worth what I'm giving?
Let's repeat it. Worthwhile.
Worthwhile. That's the word tour. Scarce, autonomy, leverage, abundance, deplete, worthwhile.
6 words for the conversation about what actually matters and how you know. Let's close. Time or money? Both answers are honest. Both depend on where you are.
If money anxiety is loud, money is the answer. If time scarcity is louder, time is the answer.
And for most people who have enough, the research says time, again and again.
Because you can always earn more money. You cannot earn more Tuesday.
So tell us in the comments, time or money, and what you'd actually do with more of it.
Subscribe, give it a like, share it with someone who would answer without hesitating, and then spend an hour reconsidering.
This is Ethan.
And this is Claire.
And you've been listening to Real English Lounge.
Your answer says a lot about you. See you next time.
Your English journey doesn't end here.
Keep listening, keep learning, and keep speaking.
Choose your next conversation.
We'll see you in the next episode of Real English Lounge.